done some interviews and stuff with American-based franchises and stuff, and they couldn't believe how cheap the advertising fee with gyms. Their advertising fee in similar home services in America, for example, were like $2,000 a month minimum.
That's kind of what it takes, Joel. Like, you know, when we start a new franchise in a remote, brand new area, and there's not many brand news left, but if we do, we know that it's going to cost us a couple of thousand a month to get them going. The ball's rolling, and then there's a few franchisees there, and we can share the costs, and that's why we can do it, because ours, it's a numbers game.
A lot of franchises in Australia, and there's a lot of cleaning franchises that I see popping up, and they're trying to replicate a lot of what Cleaning Group does. But why do you think people are choosing you guys?
Well, firstly, our brand is very, very strong. Public recognition is, I think it's still at 96%, which is pretty high. We're well known, well trusted. Customers know that we're insured and all that sort of stuff, so they're happy to pay that little bit extra. So if you join us, you are going to get a lot of work because we recognise out there. Number two, you're going to be able to charge top dollar for it because you're going to be trained, you're going to be insured, you're going to be all those things that customers are looking for. Perfect. You know, well, what else do you want? I mean, there are franchises you could buy, but you don't get work. And I've seen them over the years come and go, come and go. You know, gyms is a 30 plus year business, maybe more now. Maybe 40.
40 years nearly, yeah.
40. Yeah. So 40 years we've been doing this. We're not going anywhere. And there might be a competitor of ours who started a year ago. Are they going to be here next year? You know, I can rattle off probably 15 that's come and gone.
Now, do you want to talk about the lead gen side of it, or the quality of the leads? Because I think that's really, really important. The reason why I say so, I've had a cold call once, another cleaning franchise basically trying to source work for the local franchisee, which I thought was a bit embarrassing. Like, why you need a cold call for?
It's a shame.
That sort of thing. So maybe just talk about the lead gen side of it from your perspective.
These days, we get a lot of leads. And in fact, unfortunately, we knock back still a huge number, in the tens of thousands, I think it is still. We collect an advertising fee or a levy from each franchisee. So we've got 1,700 franchisees, and the levy averages around $160 a month each franchisee. So if you do your numbers, I think it comes to around $300,000 a month that we spend on marketing, predominantly online. So we're everywhere. When you're everywhere and you're good at what you do, you got 1,700 vans driving around. You've got the other divisions indirectly advertising for us too. You know, mowing, doing good work gets us work. It's just an amazing recipe. Early on, it was difficult when we didn't have much money to spend. We struggled getting work. But now, with these sort of the money pools that we have, it's easy.
I was going to say then, the actual advertising levy, which is I think 160, 170 a month, it's actually really, really cheap.
Well,
so if people are watching, it's so cheap, even though it sounds like it's a lot combined, but that actually is a really cheap advertising levy. We got other franchises are charging, 12% of turnover or whatever it is. It's actually a really, really cheap figure compared to a lot of others.
100%. Good point there.
Yeah, the reason why I asked it, because I've done some interviews and stuff with American-based franchises and stuff, and they couldn't believe how cheap the advertising fee with gyms. Their advertising fee in similar home services in America, for example, were like $2,000 a month minimum.
That's kind of what it takes, Joel. Like, you know, when we start a new franchise in a remote, brand new area, and there's not many brand news left, but if we do, we know that it's going to cost us a couple of thousand a month to get them going. But then it comes a time when the ball's rolling, and then there's a few franchisees there, and we can share the costs, and that's why we can do it, because ours, it's a numbers game. Like, if you had one franchisee in one town, yes, the $160 won't be enough, and I would have to chip in from my own pocket. The process is that we put 2 or 3 franchisees. Collectively, we can advertise more, and everyone benefits. So we worked out that the cleaning industry is, I think it's about $2.6 billion turnover in Australia. That's the pie.
Like total, yeah.
Yeah, in total. Do you want to have a guess what share we have of that $2.6 billion? Jim's Cleaning, the largest cleaning franchise in the country, if not the Southern Hemisphere.
25%.
No.
How much?
It's about 1%.
Oh, 1%, that's it. Okay, I thought it'd be more than that.
Well, let's work it out. It could be more. I don't know. But we have about 1% market share.
Yeah.
So our goal is to get 2% market share, right? And the way we're going to do that is we need more penetration in each area. So if you've got one van, by having the second or third van driving in that area, it compounds everything. And we know this from experience because we've got 30 years of data. That's a goal that we're trying to work out this year. That's what we want to achieve, at least 2% market share.
That's a really good goal. And I was going to say, I think everyone knows that because I'm stuck in traffic every day and I'm always next to a Jim's cleaning vehicle or a Jim's mowing van or something like that. You know? So I think the traffic gridlock at the moment is probably working for us in terms of the branding with the vehicles.